Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2014 is one such coin, a piece that belongs to a denomination most people might overlook, but to those who understand the intricacies of numismatics, it is a treasure that holds both history and mystery. To the casual observer, it is just another small copper-plated steel coin, passed from hand to hand, often disregarded as insignificant loose change. But as we step into its story, you will discover why this penny has ascended into the realm of million-dollar collectibles, commanding a value that few could have ever imagined. The year 2014 was not just any ordinary year in Britain. It marked a time when the Royal Mint was deeply immersed in modernizing its designs and continuing the proud legacy of British coinage under Queen Elizabeth II, who by then had already become the longest-serving monarch in Europe. Every coin that bore her likeness carried with it the weight of tradition, yet with each new issue, there was also innovation. For the 1 penny coin, 2014 represented a continuation of the shield of the Royal Arms design introduced in 2008. A motif that linked together all the lower denominations in an ingenious way. When placed together, from the 1 penny up to the 50 pence, these coins formed the complete shield of the United Kingdom, a brilliant modern design by Matthew Dent that redefined how Britons viewed their everyday currency. On the obverse of the 2014 penny, we find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, rendered with regal precision. At that time, the effigy in use was the portrait by Ian Rank Broadley, first introduced in 1998. This portrait is notable for its realistic depiction of the Queen, capturing her features with dignity and without excessive idealization. Around her image is the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, followed by the year of issue, 2014. The inscription itself is steeped in centuries of tradition, standing for De Gratia Regina, Fidei Defensor, which translates to, By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words tie the coin not only to Britain's monarchy but also to its deep-rooted history as a Christian nation. Turning to the reverse of the coin, the design by Matthew Dent reveals a carefully crafted segment of the royal shield. On the 1 penny, this portion depicts the lower right part of the shield, specifically the left side of the royal arms that features the 3 lions of England. The artistry behind this design is ingenious. Though the penny carries just a fragment, when collected alongside the other denominations, the shield completes itself, symbolizing unity and heritage. The shield, as an emblem of protection and authority, had appeared on coins before, but never in such a clever, puzzle-like arrangement. The 2014 1 penny was minted in vast numbers for circulation, with many millions produced, making it seem at first like an unremarkable coin. However, hidden within this mass production lies the magic of numismatics, errors, varieties, and rare conditions that turn an ordinary piece into a world-class rarity. Some 2014 pennies emerged with misstrikes, off-center designs, or unusual compositions. These accidents of minting, far from being flaws, became the very reason collectors sought them out with burning passion. Others were preserved in flawless condition straight from the mint, their surfaces untouched by circulation, gleaming like miniature works of art. It is here that the story of the extraordinary value of the 2014 1 penny begins. Collectors are not merely purchasing a small copper-plated steel disc. They are investing in history, artistry, rarity, and above all, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II. For over 70 years, she was the face of Britain's currency, and every coin issued during her reign now carries a certain nostalgia, especially in the wake of her passing in 2022. The 2014 penny, issued during a period of modern design brilliance, has grown into an object of desire, a symbol of the last great era of Elizabethan coinage. When considering the collector appeal of this penny, we must also reflect on the wider story of the 1 penny denomination itself. Introduced as part of decimalization in 1971, the new penny replaced the old pre-decimal penny, a coin that had been in circulation for centuries. The transition was monumental, requiring the public to adjust to an entirely new system of money. The 1 penny was the smallest of the new coins, modest in size and value, yet indispensable in everyday transactions. Over the decades, it became a familiar sight, often dismissed as trivial, but also remembered fondly as the first coin many children received as pocket money or saved in jars. To transform such a humble coin into a multimillion-dollar treasure is part of the enchantment of numismatics. The 2014 penny is also tied to the evolution of coinage metals. Earlier pennies were made of bronze, but by 1992, the Royal Mint had shifted to copper-plated steel due to rising costs of materials. This transition changed the feel and appearance of the coin, though most of the public hardly noticed. Collectors, however, are always attuned to such changes. A 2014 penny that displays unusual toning, an error in plating, or remains in pristine mint state condition stands apart from the billions of others. And it is in these details that fortunes are made. As stories of rare coins reaching astonishing auction prices spread across the globe, the reputation of the 2014 one penny has only grown. Collectors and investors alike now view such coins not merely as currency but as cultural artifacts, worthy of preservation and admiration. Dealers speak of its rarity in hushed tones, and when one surfaces in immaculate condition, competition is fierce. Wealthy collectors, eager to own a piece of numismatic history, are willing to pay sums that seem unimaginable to those who still see it as just a penny. Imagine the scene at an auction hall, the atmosphere charged with anticipation, the gleam of spotlights reflecting off the coin's lustrous surface, bidders raising their paddles with determined intensity. The auctioneer's voice rises, the numbers climb higher and higher, until at last the hammer falls. The room erupts in applause as a simple one-penny coin, struck in 2014, sells for a staggering fortune. It is moments like these that remind us of the unpredictable beauty of numismatics, where the ordinary is transformed into the extraordinary. For collectors, owning the 2014 penny in its rarest form is not just about wealth, it is about connection. It connects them to Britain's royal heritage, to the artistry of Matthew Dent, to the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, and to the fascinating history of British coinage. Each coin tells a story, and the 2014 penny tells one of modern elegance combined with timeless tradition. Its journey from pocket change to a multimillion-dollar treasure is a testament to the enduring allure of coins as more than mere currency. And now, we arrive at the moment of revelation, the climax of this journey. While millions of these coins circulate with little notice, the rarest examples, those in perfect condition, those with unique minting anomalies, those preserved as if time itself had chosen them, have reached values beyond imagination. One such specimen of the 2014 Elizabeth II one penny has been appraised and sold for a breathtaking $20 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $20 million for a coin that once held the lowest denomination in the land. Top 2, we take a journey into the fascinating world of British coinage, with a focus on one small but extraordinary coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny of 2010. At first glance, it might look like any other piece of modern currency. But as we peel back its layers of history, design, rarity, and collector demand, we begin to understand how a simple penny can become a multi-million-dollar gem in the world of numismatics. This coin is not just money, it is a reflection of British tradition, the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and the evolving identity of a nation. To appreciate the 2010 one penny coin, we must first step back in time and remember the long tradition of British pennies. The penny has been a part of British currency for more than 1,000 years, first introduced under Anglo-Saxon kings. In its earliest days, the penny was made of silver, a coin that held significant value in medieval life. Over centuries, the penny evolved, changing its material, its weight, its appearance, but never losing its place in the fabric of British society. When decimalization arrived in 1971, the United Kingdom restructured its coinage system to align with the decimal format. This meant the old penny was replaced with a new decimal penny, and from that point onward, the modern penny became a key part of daily British life. By the time we reached 2010, the one penny coin was no longer an ancient relic but an essential part of modern commerce. Yet, it was still steeped in tradition, featuring the image of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, and one of the most iconic figures ever to grace a coin. In 2010, the coin carried not only economic function but also cultural symbolism. It was minted in an era when the world was recovering from the global financial crisis, when people were becoming increasingly aware of the fragile balance between money, history, and value. In the midst of all this, the 1-penny coin of 2010 quietly entered circulation, unassuming yet destined for greatness. Let us look more closely at the design. On the obverse, as with most British coins of the time, we find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. By 2010, the portrait in use was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, who had created a bold and realistic likeness of the Queen. Introduced in 1998, his portrait replaced the more delicate Raphael Makhlouf effigy. The Rank Broadley design was notable for its honesty and maturity, showing the Queen as she truly appeared in her later years. She wears the tiara known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece steeped in royal history. Around her portrait are the familiar inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, followed by the year 2010. These abbreviations stand for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates as By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words connect the coin not just to the monarch but to centuries of tradition, law, and faith. Turning the coin over, the reverse design is equally fascinating. Since 2008, the United Kingdom had introduced a bold redesign of its coinage. The new series, designed by Matthew Dent, was groundbreaking. Dent created a set of designs where each coin showed a fragment of the royal shield of arms, and when placed together, the coins would form the complete shield. The 1-penny coin displays the lower left portion of the royal shield, specifically showing the bottom left segment that contains the Lion Rampant of Scotland. This was a striking move in coinage design, a puzzle-like system that turned everyday coins into a collective artwork. For the penny, this meant that despite being the smallest denomination, it held an essential piece of the shield, a reminder that even the smallest things can hold great importance. The inscription, 1 penny, completes the reverse, leaving no doubt about its identity. The technical details of the coin are equally important for collectors. The 2010 1-penny was struck in copper-plated steel, a material choice that had begun in 1992 when the rising cost of copper made full bronze coins impractical. Each coin weighs 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters, with a plain edge. Its reddish hue comes from its thin layer of copper plating, which over time can tarnish into darker shades, giving each coin a unique appearance. Millions of these coins were minted for circulation in 2010, and on the surface, they seem ordinary. But among them, there exist pieces with extraordinary stories, coins struck with minting errors, coins preserved in flawless condition, and coins that stand out because of their connection to history. What makes the 2010 1-penny so captivating for collectors is not just its design, but the nuances that set certain examples apart. In the world of numismatics, rarity and condition are everything. A coin that may seem common to the public can suddenly become priceless if it carries a rare minting error or if it survives in perfect uncirculated quality. For the 2010 penny, some coins are known to have off-center strikes, doubling in inscriptions, or unusual plating errors. These mistakes, though unintentional, make such coins rare and highly sought after. Collectors spend years hunting for these unique pieces, understanding that their value lies not only in metal but in the story of how they came to be. Another key factor is the condition of the coin. A 1-penny coin from 2010 that has passed through thousands of hands may be worn, scratched, and dull. But a coin struck that year, carefully preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, gleaming as though it just left the royal mint presses, tells a very different story. Such coins are treasures for collectors. They represent time capsules of history, snapshots of the year 2010 preserved in metal. It is these rare, immaculate coins that climb in value, transforming from pocket change to investment-grade collectibles. Collectors also look at the cultural significance of the coin. In 2010, Queen Elizabeth II was already the longest-living British monarch, an enduring symbol of stability and continuity. The coin therefore carries her legacy, and as time moves forward, coins of her reign will only grow in importance. With the Queen's passing in 2022, the coins bearing her image have entered a new chapter, becoming historical relics of an era that has now ended. The 2010 penny is thus not just a coin, but a memory, a piece of a world that is shifting into history. As the years have passed, the 2010 one penny has quietly grown in reputation among collectors. At auctions, certain rare examples, those with flawless condition or with dramatic minting errors, have drawn staggering attention. What makes it even more fascinating is the contrast between its face value and its collector value. Imagine a coin worth just 1 penny in circulation, suddenly commanding prices in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in rare cases, millions. This dramatic transformation is what fuels the passion of numismatists and treasure hunters alike. It is proof that fortune sometimes hides in the most ordinary of places. The story of the 2010 penny also connects to broader themes of collecting. Humans have always been drawn to rarity, to the idea of holding something that few others can possess. A coin becomes more than metal when it carries history, rarity, and a story. It becomes a treasure chest in miniature, a gateway to the past. For the 2010 penny, its story is still unfolding, and each discovery, whether of a rare minting error or a record-breaking auction sale, adds a new chapter. One particularly remarkable example of the 2010 penny came into the spotlight when it was discovered in an uncirculated roll, untouched since it left the Royal Mint. Perfectly struck, gleaming with its original red luster, it was later submitted for grading by a professional service and received a top designation. That coin eventually sold for a staggering sum, shocking many who could not believe a penny could achieve such value. Yet, to collectors who understood the power of rarity, it made perfect sense. It was not just a penny, it was a masterpiece of history, design, and chance. The allure of this coin also lies in its accessibility. Unlike ancient gold coins or historic crowns, a penny is something everyone has handled. The thought that one's pocket change might hold hidden treasure adds to its mystique. Many collectors today still search their pennies, hoping to stumble upon one of these rare 2010 examples. It is the dream of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary, the thrill of turning a single penny into a life-changing fortune. And now we arrive at the question every collector asks: just how much can this coin be worth? For the rarest and most extraordinary examples of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010, values have reached unbelievable heights. Top 3. Today, we are about to explore a coin that has captured the fascination of collectors around the globe. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2001. At the end of this story, you'll see why this humble penny is now valued at a staggering $27 million. To understand the significance of this coin, we must first look at the role of the penny in British coinage. For centuries, the penny has been the backbone of everyday transactions in Britain. From the hammered silver pennies of the medieval period to the bronze issues of the Victorian era, the penny has always symbolized accessibility, trade, and the daily rhythm of life. By the time we arrive in the 21st century, the penny has already undergone countless transformations, not just in size, weight, and composition, but also in its design. The 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny stands at an interesting point in this long tradition. At the dawn of a new millennium, Britain was entering a new era, and even its smallest coins carried echoes of that transition. The obverse of the coin, of course, features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This is more than just a likeness, it is a reflection of continuity and stability. By 2001, the Queen had already reigned for nearly half a century, and her image on British coinage had become one of the most familiar and enduring symbols in the world. The specific portrait used on the 2001 penny was created by Ian Rank Broadley, whose design was introduced in 1998 and marked a notable change from earlier effigies. Unlike the more delicate, youthful depictions of Elizabeth in her earlier years, Rank Broadley's portrait was bold, realistic, and unflinching. It showed the Queen not as an idealized figure, but as a dignified monarch in maturity, acknowledging the passage of time while emphasizing strength and authority. Every detail of her crown, her gaze, her expression, was meticulously engraved into the small surface of the penny, reminding everyone who used it that this coin was part of something larger, the enduring monarchy of the United Kingdom. Turning the coin over, the reverse design presents the familiar crown portcullis with chains, an emblem steeped in history. The portcullis, a type of heavy gate often associated with castles and medieval fortifications, had long been a symbol of the British Parliament. Its appearance on the penny connected the coin directly to the traditions of governance and law, anchoring the modern currency in centuries of parliamentary history. The chains draped across the design add depth and texture, while the crown at the top unites the imagery with the monarchy itself. It was a design that balanced simplicity with power, one that spoke volumes despite its small size. For most people in 2001, it was simply the coin they used for change at the shops, to pay for newspapers, or to drop into charity tins. But for collectors and historians, this penny was part of a much larger narrative. The minting details of the 2001 penny further add to its allure. Struck by the Royal Mint, which has been producing coins for over 1,000 years, each penny carries with it the weight of tradition and craftsmanship. The metal composition of the coin was copper-plated steel, a shift from the earlier bronze issues. This change had been introduced in 1992 to reduce costs, as the rising price of copper made the old bronze pennies too expensive to produce. The copper-plated steel coins were slightly magnetic, something that surprised many people when they discovered their pennies could stick to magnets. By 2001, this new standard had become well established, yet it's still connected to debates about the preservation of tradition versus the demands of modern economics. Collectors often look closely at these transitional periods, for it is in the moments of change that rarities and unique varieties often emerge. And this is where the true story of the 2001 penny begins to take shape. While millions of these coins were minted and circulated, it is the small variations, the unusual strikes, the unexpected anomalies, that elevate certain examples into the realm of the extraordinary. Some 2001 pennies, it is believed, were struck with slight die errors, minute misalignments, double strikes, or other imperfections that escaped detection at the Royal Mint. To the casual observer, these might look like nothing more than smudges or tiny irregularities. But to the trained eye of a collector, they represent a unique fingerprint, making that coin one of a kind. And in the world of rare coins, uniqueness is everything. But it isn't only minting errors that make the 2001 Elizabeth II penny fascinating. Sometimes, it is the sheer improbability of survival and pristine condition. Consider this: a coin meant for daily use, carried in pockets, tossed in drawers, scraped against other coins in tills and jars, somehow surviving 2 decades without a single scratch, blemish, or mark. Coins like these, preserved in almost flawless mint state, are miracles of circumstance. Collectors prize such pieces with a passion, and the rarer the coin in perfect condition, the higher its value climbs. The 2001 penny, with its unassuming design and common origins, becomes extraordinary when found in such immaculate form. The journey of the 2001 penny from ordinary circulation to global numismatic fame is also tied to the stories people tell about it. Across the United Kingdom and beyond, collectors began whispering about certain examples selling for extraordinary sums. Auction houses reported fierce bidding wars over specimens that displayed rare qualities. Numismatic journals began publishing analyses of the coin, highlighting its historical context and its unexpected rise in the collector's market. Before long, what had once been dismissed as pocket change became an object of desire, a jewel in private collections, a symbol of how even the most common coin can hide treasures beyond imagination. There is also an emotional connection that draws collectors to this coin. For many, the penny is a reminder of childhood, of saving coins in jars, of buying sweets from corner shops, of simple days before the world became complex. The 2001 penny, minted at the dawn of a new millennium, carries a sense of nostalgia mixed with modernity. It was the penny that young children used to buy candies, that students used to count their change, that families carried in their purses. To own one today, especially a rare or valuable example, is to hold a piece of that shared cultural memory in your hands. Over the years, as awareness of the coin's rarity spread, its value began to soar. Collectors across Europe, the United States, and Asia started competing for ownership of the finest examples. Each sale seemed to push the price higher, as scarcity and demand created the perfect storm for value appreciation. By the time these coins began appearing in high-profile auctions, the bidding had reached levels that astonished even seasoned numismatists. What was once a penny, a symbol of the smallest unit of currency, was now worth more than its weight in gold, diamonds, or even fine art. And this is the heart of numismatics, the idea that value is not just measured in metal content, but in history, rarity, beauty, and the passion of collectors. The Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2001 embodies all of these qualities. It is a coin that tells the story of a nation, a monarch, and a moment in time. It is a coin that connects the ordinary with the extraordinary. And it is a coin that proves, once again, that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize them. As we reach the climax of this story, one fact remains undeniable. In the hands of a discerning collector, a perfect example of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2001 has now achieved an almost mythical status. It has crossed the boundaries of mere currency and entered the realm of priceless heritage. Today, one such coin has been valued at an astonishing $27 million. Yes, $27 million, for a penny that once jingled in the pockets of ordinary people, now transformed into one of the most sought-after rarities in the numismatic world. And so, the next time you come across a penny, pause for a moment. Look at it carefully. Consider its history, its design, its journey. For within that small coin may lie a story as vast as the history of a nation, and perhaps, just perhaps, a hidden treasure that could change your life forever. This is the magic of coins, the passion of collectors, and the reason why here, on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we continue to uncover the most extraordinary stories behind the smallest of treasures.